So I had to make another Lies of P video because I have mistakenly, all this time, this whole time, all along, I have mistakenly been giving this game, Lies of P, the wrong score. Lies of P is a freaking masterpiece and it is one of the best Soulslikes in the market right now. Perfect blocking in this game is called just guard. And even though the perfect block in this game is not some over-the-top parry, and it doesn't have an Isen like Onimusha, the perfect block mechanic works perfectly for this game. Probably the only bad thing I have to say is that sometimes when enemies mob you, it would be a little nice if you could block in all directions, but that would be overpowered, and also the game does a great job of making most encounters a one-on-one type of scenario. Especially if you use the grappling hook in your left arm, you should never get mobbed too badly in this game, and it will help you to make most of the combat sequences like a 1 versus 1 type of thing. Okay, so this game is a masterpiece. Let's get into it. First, I like Lies of P more than Sekiro. Sekiro has like a lot of ninja stuff, like jumping and grappling up to rooftops. It has jumping and platforming. Lies of P is the exact opposite. It barely has any jumping and barely has any platforming at all. In fact, you can almost say that it doesn't have any jumping or platforming, even though you can jump in this game. The game is straightforward in such an enjoyable way, like it's very linear. There's no puzzles, no complicated stuff to figure out. The game is just, you get from point A to point B and you kill every single enemy that's in your path. And it is so much fun, and I think I'm on my 4th playthrough now of this game, and I love it. So after hours of playing this game, I've kind of have like my own style of playing, and what I do is, I use one of 3 weapons. I use the Wintry's Rapier, which is the starting weapon if you choose Dexterity build. After the DLC, I use the Monad's Rose. But my favorite weapon by far is the 2-Dragon Sword. As you can see from the footage, this is basically like a parry compilation, and all I'm using is the 2-Dragon Sword. I could be using the Monad's Rose and obliterating like a quarter of every boss's health, but I'm not going to because the parry on the 2-Dragon Sword. Because the 2-Dragon Sword, you can do the just guard, but you can also parry with it if you hold the heavy attack button. And that is how you actually play Lies of P, with the 2-Dragon Sword. Because the parry on this sword has a wind-up, you're gonna be tempted to just parry all the time. That's not how you use this sword. How you use this sword is you wanna just guard like 1 or 2 attacks, and then when the enemy does his slower attack, that's when you do the parry with the 2-Dragon Sword. And I am telling you, it is so satisfying to pull this thing off with the 2-Dragon Sword. And it is the reason why I've been replaying Lies of P so much, just to like learn everything and be able to use the parry from the 2-Dragon Sword on everything. Well, not on everything, because the wind-up on the parry is so long that you actually cannot parry every single attack. But I am using it for most things that allow you to like feasibly use the 2-Dragon parry and get away with it. Again, all this footage is just a 2-Dragon Sword compilation. Look at it. Also, I want to show you what I consider to be the best passive buff in the entire game. It's for your P organ. It's the one, you get it on phase 7, which is super late. You gotta pass the game twice before you can get this. But it's this one where if you perform the just guard, it doesn't consume any stamina when you like perfect block enemy attacks. And this perfectly encompasses the gameplay of what Lies of P is. This P organ skill of perfect blocking, not consuming stamina, the game should give this to you before you even get the 2-Dragon Sword, because it perfectly highlights what Lies of P is. What I'm gonna say now is only known by like hardcore Sekiro players, but in Sekiro, the more you parry, the more your parry degrades. So let's say you're playing Sekiro and you fully parry like a 6-hit combo. By the time you're in your 4th parry, the parry window has now become smaller and smaller and smaller. And the more you parry in Sekiro, The more attacks you parry in a row, the smaller your parry window becomes. This does not happen in Lies of P, which is why I consider the just guard, the perfect block in Lies of P, to be superior to, to the perfect block in Sekiro. However, even though the perfect block in Lies of P does not degrade over time, you only have 9 active perfect block frames. That is your window for perfect blocking. Whereas in Sekiro, your standard deflect has 12 frames before it begins degrading. So in Sekiro, you have 3 more frames in order to perfect block, meaning you have less frames to perfect block in Lies of P. But since in Lies of P, the perfect block does not degrade over time, I still consider the just guard from Lies of P to be superior to the Sekiro deflect. So this game, Lies of P, it really makes you feel like a badass when you successfully just guard, and it also makes you feel like you've done your due diligence. And it's a very rewarding feeling, and I'm on like my 4th playthrough now, and I'm not tired of this game. Like, I'm not tired. I want to keep playing, and I do keep playing it. And it's really taken me by surprise because the first time I played Lies of P, I liked it, but I didn't love it the way I love it now. I know that by the end of this video, I'm gonna give this game a super high score because I'm in love with it now. And I used to not be. Like, if you see my previous reviews of this game, I give it like a 7 out of 10, 7.5, then I give it a 6 out of 10. I'm here to tell you that I was insane when I made those videos. I was absolutely insane. But there was always something about Lies of P. Even though I didn't give it a super high score, I downloaded the game again. And I keep asking myself, why did I do that? If I was like done with this game, why did I review it, give it like a low score, and then why did I download it again? It's because this game, deep in your heart, this game stays with you. There's just something about this game that it just stays with you in a way that Sekiro has not done for me. I enjoy Sekiro because I am a parry enjoyer. I enjoy Lies of P not only because it has a parry, but it is also a freaking masterpiece on top of the fact that it has a parry. I'll even say this. There's a game that I really enjoy. I like it a lot. It's one of my first parry reviews, and it's probably the reason why I started parry reviews to begin with. The game is called Flintlock: The Siege at Dawn. And I think that I might actually like Lies of P even more than Flintlock: The Siege at Dawn. And that's me saying a lot, because if you go back to my parry reviews, you're gonna see that Flintlock is one of the first games that I ever reviewed, and it's what motivated me to start this series. But Flintlock is not as polished as Lies of P, and it's also like slightly easier than Lies of P. Lies of P is more refined, it's a more refined game, and it's also more difficult than Flintlock. And because of that, Lies of P has burrowed deep inside of my heart, and I freaking love it. Again, I have to tell you, because it's worth repeating, if you really want to enjoy Lies of P to the max, you have to get the 2-Dragon Sword. You can get it in your first playthrough, you don't have to pass the game in order to get it, and you get it at like around halfway through the game, or like 3/4 into the game, into the main game, not the DLC. And I'm telling you, you need this sword. You need this sword if you really want the full Lies of P experience. I know that speedrunners use like the Guanju spear from Wolong Fallen Dynasty, but that weapon is too overpowered and it kinda defeats the purpose of this game. Well, actually, I have to review the speedrunning meta because I'm pretty sure now that speedrunners are probably using the Monad's Rose, probably just for the Fable arts. So I'm gonna give Lies of P an 8 out of 10 on the parry metric. A lot of that is thanks to the 2-Dragon Sword. Without that sword, the game would only have the just guard and no parry, and then I would have to give it a lower score on the parry metric. But since it does have the 2-Dragon Sword, it's gonna get an 8 out of 10 on the parry metric. And on the fun and enjoyment scale, I'm gonna give Lies of P a 9 out of 10. This game is a freaking masterpiece. And also, I'm tempted to give it a 10 out of 10, but I'm erring on the side of caution because I'm gonna re-review a few of my older games. And then in 2026, when Onimusha finally comes out, the new game, Way of the Sword, after I review that game, I'm gonna readjust my parry metric for good, like forever. Things are gonna change in this channel after that game comes out. So again, I'm giving Lies of P a 9 out of 10 on the fun and enjoyment scale, but I will readjust my score for Lies of P after I play Onimusha. Again, I would like to give Lies of P a 10 out of 10, but I have to err on the side of caution. I have to be realistic and just give more of a grounded score based on reality. But still, 9 out of 10 is near perfect. Like here on Parry Reviews, I've only dished out like maybe 2 or 3 9 out of 10s. Maybe just 2. And Lies of P is one of them. Yeah, I've just reviewed so many games that, I can't keep track of everything. Just know that not many games get this honor of receiving a 9 out of 10 from me. So it's no small thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go watch a speedrun for Lies of P. Thanks for watching, take care, and enjoy.